Chicago, what do you say? This is the CHGO Cubs Postgame Show podcast presented by PointsBet. Use the promo code CHGO when you sign up to get 2 risk-free bets up to $2,000. Luke Stuckmeyer and Cody Delmendo after the Cubs beat the Brewers in Milwaukee 8-3 to even the series at 1 apiece. They'll go for their 4th straight series win. Are you kidding me?
Don't let me talk myself back into it now.
Coming up on Wednesday, and Cody, as we get the podcast started, we were talking before the game, during the game, about what happened in Highland Park yesterday. Obviously, everyone in the community has been thinking about all the people that were there, all the victims, the family members, everybody that's been impacted by it. This was nice to focus on something else. We're certainly not forgetting what went on in Highland Park. It was just nice to have a little distraction for a couple hours,
Yeah, considering everything, my Twitter timeline is just everything related to that. And
Me too.
It's nice to get the updates and just, learn, just
what happened,
learn about what happened and what they're doing to try to, to do what they can to make things right in this situation, which is impossible. But what I'm saying is it's all over the news. It's hard to miss. And so it's nice to see the Cubs come back and win tonight. And
just to think about baseball, that's one of the great things about sports. It's, again, not going to make anybody forget what happened. Certainly not anybody that was there, that's for sure. But it allows you an escape when you're able to take that escape. So that part was nice. And again, in the chat, if you want to talk about that throughout the post-game show podcast, we're open to that too. We're just offering an outlet for someone that wants to.
We also talked about it a lot more in depth on pregame. So if you want to listen to us talk about that more in depth, feel free to go watch that after this. It was the very beginning of the show too. So
and we're not experts. We don't have anything super enlightening. I think our thoughts are like a lot of people. It seems like it should be a simple solution to a lot of things, but it hasn't worked out that way. And hopefully some change is coming on.
A nice thing here too, the GoFundMe for the mother and father that were killed, we're looking at $1.7 million so far.
$1.7 million.
$1.7 million. They lost their 2-year-old who was the one who got separated. So from
two and a half year old lost both of his parents, and his picture's been all over the media. They were able to reunite him with his grandparents. Didn't know where his parents were. Found out today that his parents were 2 of the 7 people killed so far in the shooting in Highland Park. So just tragic. The kid's an orphan. Obviously, $1.7 million isn't going to make his life any easier mentally. All the hurdles he's going to have to overcome without his parents. And what he witnessed at a parade when he was 2.5 years old. So,
so sad.
It's nice to see the community and people around the country rallying around him and for him. And you just, you hope the best for him, obviously.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, absolutely. Just
heartbreaks for him.
Yeah,
it's
for
terrible.
Sure. Yeah, that's one of those things that, as for someone like me, I'll be real. I didn't have the easiest upbringing. I grew up with a single mom. My dad lived states away. I saw him basically, major holidays and my birthday. And I went through a lot of stuff, but nothing like that. I feel like a lot of us can say that at least we had our parents growing up, right? And this kid's not going to have that. So that,
no, and frankly, unfortunately, a lot of kids don't have, a perfect setup. It's just, it's one of the things I was watching the game and I thought, I don't know if I've ever thought to myself during a baseball game that I feel fortunate. We joke about the Cubs all the time on this podcast. Like, what are we doing to ourselves watching 9 innings of baseball every night? And sometimes I say, we watch it so you don't have to.
Right.
But tonight I sat there for a couple times and I thought to myself, I feel fortunate to be able to watch a 9-inning baseball game, no matter how bad it might be, no matter how bad the Cubs are, how meaningless the game might be. You know, there's certain things that we take for granted sometimes, and
Absolutely.
not that watching the game is the most important thing in the world, but it's, I felt fortunate tonight. I'll just say that.
I agree.
All right, so the Cubs win 8-3.
Shout out to the comment section. Y'all are blowing us up.
Yeah, thank you.
Appreciate that.
David's there. I see Jack R.
It looks
Katie.
like someone, I guess some new prospect rankings came out. Looks like Kevin Alcantara has entered the top 100 according to the comment section.
I saw.
Go search that.
I didn't even see whose rankings these were at, but it was the Cubs with 4 in the top 100.
Yeah.
And then I saw some Twitter polls saying who's going to be the next person on there.
Interesting. Yeah, I have to go find it. So it would be
Davis is number 30.
Brennan Davis, Christian Hernandez.
Yeah, I just had it.
Kevin Alcantara. Is Caleb Killian the other one?
Or
PCA.
PCA is on the list for sure.
Yeah. So, hey, for the farm, that's good. Good news.
Yeah, and again, I think that list is going to go up unless some of them make it to the major leagues. But, it was like, who's next? DJ Hers and the list of guys coming up after that.
Let's talk about the major league team, I guess.
Yeah, because, it's rare we get to talk about a win, although the Cubs have played better baseball, and now they have a shot at their 4th straight series win here. We mentioned in the pregame, Seiya sizzling when the inside the park home run was so exciting on the 4th of July. Man, what a return. And you realize what you miss when he's playing well. First 2 games back, 4 hits, 4 RBIs, 2 home runs.
Yeah, this guy, I mean, he's giving us April vibes right now, right?
Yeah.
He lit the world on fire in April, won Rookie of the Month for the National League, and people were, I wouldn't say, well, perhaps we jumped way ahead and we're like, this guy's going to be in the MVP race, and then the league adjusted in May, and then he got hurt, and with how bad the Cubs are playing, you're just kind of like, man, is Seiya going to be the guy or a guy in the future? And he's come back and reminding us just how good he was in April and just how good he was in, overseas too. So it's, like I said in pregame, of the things that we can look forward to the rest of the season, like watching Seiya Suzuki mash baseballs, that might be the most important thing. Like if he puts together like the rest of the year, the entire second half, if he puts up really solid numbers, you can go into 2023 knowing Seiya Suzuki is your starting right fielder and you feel good about it.
Well, let's think. Moving forward the rest of this season, assuming the trade deadline, a lot of things happen that we're expecting to happen. Seiya, Horner, Morel, Steele, Thompson. Are those the 5 key things you're watching probably the rest of the season? And I mean, that's not including guys that might be coming up the second half of the season, especially after the trade deadline. But at least you will have those 5 key things that you'll want to be watching for sure the rest of the season.
Yeah, Steele, Thompson, Seiya, Nico. Those 4.
Those are 5 big positives. That you're looking forward to. So far from what you've seen early in the season, again, looking forward to the future of the Cubs. Hey, Rafael Ortega trade value, Cody.
It's
going up.
It's rising, man. And listen, like, it's tough because he's playing so well that it's like, man, like, with all the, like, he's cheap and you only has 3 more years before you even have to give him up. But it's like, well, he's 30.
You wish you had him on a good team.
Yes, if that guy
wish you had him a couple years ago.
Yes,
is what you wish.
Absolutely. If the Cubs had him in 2019, oh my gosh, they would. That team probably could have made the playoffs. I mean, It really doesn't matter where they have been playing him in the lineup. He's, I know the beginning of the year he struggled out the gates, especially out of the leadoff spot. But I tweeted it from the CHGO Cubs account tonight. I mean, since May 1st, he's batting like 280. He's got an on base of 370 and slugging a little bit over 400. Like, that's
bad.
Very solid. He's
crushing right-handed pitching.
He is going to be a nice piece for a team. Yeah, okay, here's the stats since May 1st. And this was before tonight's game.
Which tonight, 2 for 3, 2 RBI.
Right. So coming into tonight's game, 281, 373, 424, 123 weighted runs created. That's 23% above league average offensive player. 798 OPS. And then the big thing, 13.2% walk rate. And as someone who has been hitting out of the leadoff spot recently, and as we've seen throughout the season, it made sense that the Cubs were batting him leadoff at the beginning of the year. It made to me, it made sense. Now I understood why people wanted it to be done because he struggled and wasn't getting any hits. But he is playing as well as he has as a Cub. You know, he was really good for the Cubs in the second half of last year. And now since May 1st, he's really turned it up. And again, I still think they should trade him and get whatever value you can get for him because you just don't know. You don't know if this is his peak. And
you'd be selling high.
Yeah, you'd be selling high. I think you can get a nice prospect for. I'm not saying you're gonna get a top 100 guy, but just something nice. A lot of teams need someone like Rafael Ortega. He mashes against right-handed pitching. He works the count. I just said the 13.2% walk rate. Teams need that. And so, you know, I don't know what the piece is, like level of how good or bad the player is, but you could get something for him, definitely. And again, I just wish this team was actually better because it's like the Cubs could have used a guy like this in this 2018, 2019 especially.
Here's the key point. Niran, he's cheap and controllable.
Yeah, but the question is, who is that benefiting right now? You know, like, is it beneficial to the Cubs? Yes. Would it be beneficial to another team, and that's why you might get something back? Well, that might be true too. So it's just a matter of what value will you get out of him as a player versus what value do you get out of trading him now? I mean, that's the same thing with all those guys, you know. Wisdom's another great example. You know, I love to poke the White Sox guys because they're always complaining that nobody homers on the south side.
Mm-hmm.
Again,
you poke them more than anyone else in the office.
I said, you know, Wisdom, 17 homers, good third base.
Yeah.
And they just...
Honestly, they could use someone like Ortega and they could use someone like Wisdom. They need the power and then obviously they're not getting... You know, they've struggled to really, you know, just have a really solid hitter consistently in a lineup. They don't walk a lot like that. He walks plenty.
Yeah. and the fact that he's a left-handed bat draws a lot of interest from teams too. You know, it just does. Like a lot of teams looking for Sox or another team looking for it. So, yeah, I mean, he's been a real pleasant surprise. I know there were a lot of different guys going into the season that we had question marks about, and it's been a very disappointing season, obviously record-wise and losing streaks and front office decisions. There's been a lot of stuff that we've ad nauseum just railed on here.
Oh, for sure.
In the shows. But individually, some of the performances have been pretty good outcomes for the Cubs. Not all of them. Obviously, you would have liked Miley and Smiley to be active players and, you know, the team would be much better if they were healthy and pitching well. But you've had some of those surprise guys. He's one of them, Ortega.
Yeah.
Morel, we weren't even thinking about before the
season.
Yeah,
we didn't really miss Morel tonight. And I said it in pregame. I was like, if Contreras is going to sit, you'd like to see Ortega in there. But, hey.
Well, we talked about these opportunities, and it's like you had Ortega, you had Hermosillo, you had some other outfielders coming in. You thought, well, what's the mix going to be? Frazier, we talked about who's going to take this opportunity. Mm-hmm. And really, Ortega has been the guy that's taken it out of that group.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, obviously Morel came in and did the job, and he's done it more than anybody. But, you know, I wasn't sure Ortega was going to be that guy, and he's done it. You know, Hermosillo didn't. I don't know that Frazier ever got the chance, but at least he's back in the organization.
Yeah, I mean, I guess if there's anything I've been the most wrong about outside of guessing the Cubs record this year, it would be having any kind of hope for Michael Hermosillo. And, yeah, I wanted to root for him because he was young and athletic. And, you know, I don't know if he's really hurt because, I mean, he just kind of hit the IL out of nowhere. And then he just, you know, he's been on the IL for a few months now. I don't know what's going on there. But, yeah, he was given a little he wasn't given enough opportunities, at least to start and get into any kind of rhythm. But at the same time, neither has some of these other guys, and they've performed. So, I mean, it is what it is. But Ortega is really, he's really taken control of the opportunity since last year. I mean, again, April was really the only month he has really struggled as a full-time player for the Cubs. But yeah, since May 1st, been great. And again, some team is going to want someone like him, but I just don't know what he's actually worth. Like, how many teams are gonna be willing to give up anything
mortgage
major
the future for
a guy who honestly has been a veteran guy all around the league most of his career, and this is really the first time that he's taken any real advantage of full-time playing. And
he's not going to get you as much as Ian Happ would, obviously.
Right. But again, you look back at what they got for Jake Marisnick and Jock Peterson, and
that's true,
and Andrew Chafin and Ryan Tepera. Now, granted, Andrew Chafin, Ryan Tepera, high leverage bullpen arms. Maybe that's not the best comparison, but again, a guy like what they got back for Jake Marisnick and Jock Peterson, Bryce Ball, who they got back for Jock Peterson, like he's been killing it for the Cubs down in Double-A this year. And then Jake Marisnick, they got Anderson Espinoza, who we saw come up and ate a few innings, last month, I want to say. He's a guy I feel like we might see in the second half of the season since he's already, came up. The thing with Espinoza, from what I remember reading, I believe, was that he was once a highly touted prospect, but some injuries came into his career, and so that kind of derailed that.
Yeah.
And, now the Cubs kind of took a high flyer on him because they, Jake Marisnick didn't have nearly as much value as Ortega, but
right.
So theoretically, I'm thinking you can get something a lot more for Ortega than you did for Marisnick, but again, like if
he keeps it up for another month.
Right. Again, like that's kind of what I'm thinking in terms of, Ortega. You're gonna get, if you package him with someone else, perhaps you can get a little bit more, you know what I mean? But I personally am not thinking you're gonna get anything insane for him just because of where he's at in his career. Unless the team really is desperate for a left-handed bat that can get walks and hit 280 for you. You know what I mean?
There's worse. Let me put it this way. If it was the other way around and the Cubs added Ortega, I wouldn't be excited, but sometimes those are the pieces that end up helping a team win more than the big name guy. Let's just be honest. It's not too often where a guy gets traded, a huge name gets traded, and you're like, well, they just won the whole World Series because of that. Like once the season's over, you're like, yep, that was it.
Yeah.
Like it just, Chapman worked out for the Cubs. But it doesn't.
The Cubs have made plenty of trades in the past where it didn't look like a big trade and it actually worked out very well for them.
Yes.
Like no one thought Nick Castellanos was going to be what he was in the second half of 19.
Agreed.
Same thing with Cole Hamels. A lot of people thought Cole Hamels was done whenever they traded for him in 18, and he was so good in that second half of 18 that they ended up getting they ended up picking up his option, right? Of course, the Cubs were in a completely different situation than they are now, but I'm just saying they've shown that they can work really good trades in the second half. Don't talk to me about Jose Quintana, but they've made good trades in the past, and I think the large majority of people believe that the returns they got in the deadline last year bode well for the future.
Yeah,
we're gonna see. It's gonna take a while to find out.
Ryan's got a good point, and this is kind of the way I think about it too. Is that maybe Ortega plus a reliever can get you a little. A lot of times that can be a package deal. Like he'll get included in something instead of just being a Tony Kemp trade, like a single guy. Like that's kind of another guy that was
true.
Similar. I think he might get you more than Tony Kemp would.
Yeah.
So as far as this game goes, he was great. Obviously, Seiya was great. And then, for me, the unsung heroes of the game were Swarmer and Wick.
Yeah.
Hendricks goes out, and we'll talk about him in a second, but he goes out of the game, and Swarmer comes in, and for a while, he's doing a really nice job. And together, 4 innings between the two guys, no runs, and then Wick gets out of Swarmer's mess with bases loaded, nobody out, and they're the reason the Cubs won.
Yeah, because especially in that inning where the Brewers had the bases jacked and because Schwarmer walked the bases loaded.
3 straight walks.
Yeah. The Cubs are up 8-2 at the time. We've seen it time and time again. The Cubs blow leads. Rowan Wick, who, let's be real, he's struggled mightily, over the last couple weeks especially. Had a nice appearance against the Reds. Was it? Yeah, it was the Red Sox. Outside of the throwing error that led to the Red Sox winning that game, I thought he pitched pretty well. To me, it was hopefully a start of a nice stretch. Tonight, great. I mean, again, doesn't matter if you're up 8-2 or it's 2-2. Like, when you're in Rowan Wick's position where you've kind of lost any kind of trust with the manager, which, again, it was kind of surprising that Ross brought him in against the Red Sox the other day. But, again, he had struggled in these high-lever spots. To see what he did tonight with an 8-2 league is nice. Also, you hear the White Sox guys screaming over there?
I wonder if they are taking the tarp off.
Yeah, are they taking the tarp off?
Yeah, they're coming out of the rain delay. Looks like
I told you it was going to happen.
Ninth inning.
I told you they were trying to start that
now.
podcast early, and they thought, well, the game's over. I said, Sox aren't giving that up if they don't have to.
Yeah.
They'll play that game till 1 o'clock if they
Ricky's
have
boys
to.
don't quit.
No, Ricky's boys don't quit. And by the way, Rhonda says Ricketts need to spend money. And Rhonda, you win the award because that is always a chat comment from somebody,
Yeah.
if not multiple people. We should have a running clock.
Yeah, for how long it takes for
How long,
someone.
and hit the bell when it first comes across.
Oh, yeah.
You're thinking like a lot of people
It
are.
definitely would come like as soon as the Cubs lost a game, for sure. Like the first comment.
So, yeah, Kyle Hendricks left the game. Right shoulder soreness. His velocity was down. 3 innings, 2 earned runs, 4 strikeouts. There was that strange moment, I believe, in the second inning where Ross came out, and you could clearly see on camera him saying, "No, I'm fine. I promise." He got out of the inning. But Nick is saying that, yeah, in the postgame, they're saying now he was feeling the soreness the whole game.
Yeah.
Obviously not good because he'd been pitching really well recently. And Isaac has the second part of it, which is sucks, period. I wanted to trade Hendricks.
Yeah, I mean.
Either way, it's not good.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I get why he didn't want to come out. I mean, he kind of rebounded after giving up the homer to Tellez, right? He had 2 clean innings. The pitch count was kind of high. He had 69 pitches, nice. But again, I said it earlier in pregame, like, that they're taking Contreras out, or they didn't play Contreras today, not only for precautionary reasons, but also because him getting hurt is the last thing they want.
Cannot have that hamstring.
Right.
Even more so than Hendricks. But I'll tell you this. So
it's like the same thing with Hendricks.
Yeah, and obviously there's a good relationship between Hendricks and Ross. And we saw it, when he was going into the 9th inning in his best game this season, and he took the ball from him. He's like, yeah, I know. And they kind of joked about him coming out of the game. However, if Kyle was feeling this soreness throughout the game, now Ross can't trust him the rest of the season. Like, knowing what's on the line, if that is on the line for the front office, and regardless for this team, you cannot trust that he's – and that's a job of a manager anyways, to know a player is almost always going to want to stay in the game and push it and push it and push it, and the manager's got to know when it's best for him to get him out of the game. Mm-hmm. Be interesting to see how this develops moving forward. If Hendricks is back fairly quickly and it was just a little soreness, hopefully that's what's going on. But I can tell you one thing, I don't think that David Ross would leave him in next time.
Yeah. It's nice that he had been pitching pretty well coming into the start. Velocity was down just a little bit. I think he topped out at 87. He's more, we've seen him get up to 89 on that fastball. So, yeah, I don't know. But, I mean, for the sake of being able to trade him, and then also just if they don't trade him, like, you still want him to be able to pitch, right? Like, you need the arm. You need the innings 8 by Kyle Hendricks. So, for the sake of those two things, I hope it's nothing that serious, and, they're just, taking precaution here. So we'll see. And if he has to miss a next start, hopefully Smiley is back. I know he did a rehab start with South Bend, I believe, or I know he's going to do a rehab start with South Bend. If he didn't already, I honestly thought it was tonight, but I'm not exactly sure.
Madrigal was BP today.
Yeah, and Schwindel. But as far as arms, Smiley would probably be up sooner than we would be. Hopefully, be able to take a spot, but we just don't know. We don't know how many rehab starts he needs. Maybe they call up Killian and give him another shot. I don't know. But right now, it's not like the Cubs could use another injury to their starting rotation.
No,
so.
Joel's saying that, Hendricks is a competitor. Absolutely. He's not going to tell you, and he's glad that Ross took him out when he did. Mm-hmm. Agreed. If he really was sore, I wish he would have taken him out. I sort of wondered if it was something that they knew going into the game that maybe he just felt a little bit off, and he was like, no, maybe it was a little tightness, but he was like, I'm fine. He started the game because it was odd that Swarmer was even warming up in the second inning. Mm-hmm. He was in the bullpen going pretty early on. So
they did say in his postgame that Kyle said that it was similar to the shoulder issue he had felt in June. So it's a lingering thing. And then Ryan also said, hopefully he'll join us later, he said that maybe missing the next start. It's a possibility, he said. So
right. And, that's not something, again, I don't know that I'm interested in trading Kyle Hendricks. I don't know what the return would be. But that's not something a buying team is going to want to be super aggressive on when it's the second time this season he's had a little bit of an issue. Now, he'd been pitching really well. He has great postgame, postseason history. All those things were starting to ramp up if indeed the Cubs were going that direction. Mm-hmm.
Looking at the comments, I'm scrolling up. RWB team, I don't know why, but I think he keeps calling you Steve.
Steve? Oh, that's all right. I
thought that was an inside joke.
I don't know why he keeps calling Luke Steve.
I mean, sure. Most Steves are pretty cool. Steve Stone.
He asked, hey, guys, are who y'all picking between Correa and Bogarts? Which, nice little tease. We're going to talk about that in the second segment. And then he said, I want to see what Cody and Steve think, to be honest. So I don't know. I'm a little confused. But
well, it could be one of those autocorrect things,
unless he's talking about, or no, that's Shane. I thought that's
I think he probably thinks my name is Steve, but that's okay.
Hey, that's fine. I'm also happy to see that
Steve and Rick show is solid tonight.
Yeah. I'm also happy to see, according to the comments, Jack letting us know Chris Bryant, first homer with the Rockies tonight.
It finally happened.
Finally. Hey,
he's only played about 24 games, hasn't he? I don't even think he's played 30 games this year. 24 games.
I'm always rooting for the guy. I don't care.
Oh yeah, me too.
You know what I mean? So
hasn't worked out.
Thank
for the
you,
Rockies
Jack, for letting us know.
Chris,
That's good news. I'm again happy to see
23
him
games this year for KB. 23 games, batting .284, first home run tonight.
Yeah.
Nearen
likes Steve's shirt better than Cody's.
Well, damn, man. I do like your shirt though too.
I mean, mine doesn't show as much chest as yours does over there, but then again,
RWB team says, my bad, Luke. Oh, that's funny. That's funny. Oh, man.
No problem, BWR.
Well, I hope everyone else likes my shirt. This is a vibe.
Well, he's not saying he doesn't like it. He just likes mine better than yours.
Okay, all right.
I mean, he probably likes your shoes better. You brought out the hot pinks again today.
You can't see them because we're in Studio B and the logo is over.
I just got on.
There you go.
Vans
there
today.
You go.
So we'll see what's up with Kyle Hendricks. Said it'd be not good if he has to miss a start here, but better than making it worse, I guess. Cody, in addition to the Cubs win, it was also a positive night for you financially. We don't want to say too much because the IRS might be listening to the podcast. Because, Steve.
Hello, IRS. Oh, yeah, Jace Peterson.
You should just say that from now on. When you're placing your bets, we should say, Steve, how did your bets do?
Oh, there you go. Anyway, Jace Peterson. Shout out to the double he got in the ninth inning of an 8-2 ball game. That ended up hitting the total bases bet I made. The pay and parlay missed by an RBI, unfortunately. But it was when the Brewers had the bases loaded, 1 out, and Jace Peterson at the plate. I was like, this is the spot. This is where Jace Peterson wins me the pain parlay, and perhaps the Cubs still win. He hits into a double play. Shout out to Rowan Wick for ruining the pain parlay tonight. Anyway. I had yes run first inning. Shout out Roddy Telez for that. But yeah, I made all my bets on PointsBet, and I say it every show, man. It is my favorite app. I roll over to the side table next to my bed every day, and every morning when I wake up, and I'm like, what are the lines? I got to see what's going on. Got to figure out what I'm betting today. It's one reason why I love it, because it's the first thing I open up every morning. But I also love it, Luke, because it's the best way to support CHGO. It really is. When you download the PointsBet app and use code CHGO when you sign up, if you do that right now, you get 2 risk-free bets up to $2,000. But that's not it. If you make a $50 or more first-time deposit, receive a free CHGO membership, which unlocks all of our web content. You even get a free shirt of your choice from the CHGO locker. That's $2,000 in free bets, a free CHGO membership, and a free T-shirt from the CHGO locker. All for making more than a $50 first-time deposit at PointsBet. If you have any questions, you can email pointsbet@allchgo.com and we'll help you out. Your home for live in-play betting just got even better. See an edge in the game you're watching. Is your favorite team primed for a comeback? Anyone live bet the Cubs tonight on PointsBet? Let us know in the chat. I'd love to know. I didn't have the balls to do it. I should have, though. Don't just watch the game. Bet along with it live. More live betting, more live markets, and faster live cash outs. Follow along with your bets the moment they hit and stay in the live action all game long. Download the PointsBet app right now and use promo code CHGO. So what are you waiting for? It's time to elevate your live betting game. Once the game starts, don't just bet. Live your bet life with PointsBet. If you or someone you know has a gambling problem and wants help, call 1-800-GAMBLER for crisis counseling and referral services.
And really, like a $50 or more first-time bet, what is that? It's a third of a tank of gas. It's nothing. You might as well spend it on
a third.
It's a third of a tank of gas. You might as well spend it on something and have a chance to get some reward, something that can make you money. And that third of a tank of gas isn't going to get you anything.
And even if you don't win any bets, like at least you get a free shirt and you get to read all the great content on allchgo.com. Yes, we have some content that's free, but all of the good stuff, the nitty gritty, the some of the best written content you can get out there on all the teams in Chicago.
Hashtag Ryan Herrera, Jared Willis.
Mainly if you're here for Cubs only, like
Brendan Miller.
Brendan, Ryan, Jared, good stuff. All the stuff I write is free because it's not premium. Because I only like to do rankings and
it's not premium.
Yeah. Like it just isn't. But like Ryan, Jared and Brendan, premium. Like especially their last article on Kyle Hendricks, which I think that was actually free to read. But Ryan and Brendan have really teamed up on articles in the past. And
they've been good.
And they've been really good. So,
Jack, we are hoping that Ryan is coming on tonight. As soon as he gets done with his work in Milwaukee, he's going to try and dial it up, assuming they still have the dial-up internet there in Wisconsin. I believe they do.
With their leaking roof.
Hey, our next partner is a product that I use literally every day. Started taking AG1 because I didn't have time, wanted better gut health, more energy, and an optimized immune system. Now I've been on it for months, and I love it. It doesn't taste super healthy. It's kind of mild, really a tropical taste that I actually look forward to taking in the morning. Here's what it is. 1 scoop of AG1, you're absorbing 75 high-quality vitamins, minerals, whole food source superfoods, probiotics, and adaptogens to help you start your day right. A special blend of ingredients supporting your gut health, nervous system, immune system, your energy, recovery, focus, aging, all of those things. And I get that noticeable boost of energy, so I take it first thing in the morning, right after I get up, on an empty stomach, and giddy up, there I go. It's lifestyle friendly too, whether you're keto, paleo, vegan, gluten-free, or dairy-free, or all of those. You're all good with AG1. You're investing in an all-in-one nutritional insurance for less than $3 a day. That's right, less than $3 a day. It's recommended by professional athletes, has more than 7,000 5-star reviews. So right now, it's time to reclaim your health, arm your immune system with convenient daily nutrition. Just 1 scoop in a cup of water. That's it. You have to take a million different pills and supplements to look out for your health. That's it. 1 scoop in a cup of water. And to make it easy, Athletic Greens is going to give you a free 1-year supply of immune-supporting vitamin D and 5 free travel packs with your first purchase. All you have to do is visit athleticgreens.com/CHGO Cubs. Again, athleticgreens.com/CHGO Cubs to take ownership over your health and pick up the ultimate daily nutritional insurance.
I love the comment section tonight. I also love AG1. Put some in my smoothie this morning before I went to the gym.
Really?
Yeah. It's just a good way to start your day, man. On
Get you
top of the
going.
Strava, you get some Strava when you wake up.
Mix the two
and then-
together.
and then whenever you getting an hour or two maybe before you go to the gym, you get your AG1 in, and it's a great day. It's a great way to start your day.
Hey, Redman R with a comment that I did not expect to see tonight, that Seinfeld debuted 33 years ago tonight.
Oh.
You're probably not really in the Seinfeld, super fan.
No,
right?
I know a lot of people.
I'm a Seinfeld super fan.
Yeah, I know a lot of people in my generation that love Seinfeld, and it makes sense. Jason Alexander pitched for the Brewers tonight. I get it. We've made the jokes. Anyway, yeah.
Yada,
but
yada.
I have nothing against it.
Nice.
Honestly, it's on Netflix, and I haven't. I honestly need to sit down and just
You should watch it
binge it, yeah.
beginning to
and
end.
that way I can start to understand most of the jokes. I just
it
don't.
really gets going after that. Season 1's slower, I think, than some of them, but once it gets going a little bit, like Elaine's not even in the first episode.
Wow.
And she's a huge part of the show.
Phenomenal show.
Phenomenal.
I love it.
Real and spectacular.
I'll always be here for Office memes and jokes. And
Office
puns.
is good too.
Yeah,
That's good too.
That's my show.
So let's talk. I saw someone mention it earlier.
Everyone's been asking about Bogarts,
Xander Bogaerts.
or
Yeah,
Correa.
they all want to know.
You know what I mean? They want us to talk about it, Luke.
They
Or
want to.
Steve,
People want to
whatever
know
your
about
name is.
Xander Bogaerts to the Cubs. Let's see. He's got 3 years of control left, but he can opt out, and he's likely going to opt out. It was Niren hates Keith Hernandez.
I love Joel's. I forget we should mention Joel's comment before we really dive in. It says, I had Athletic Greens this afternoon, and she still took the kids. Highly recommend Athletic Greens still. Oh, gosh.
Yeah, Bogaerts is a great player. He's going to be 30 by the end of this season, by the end of the year. And, when you look at his number.
Steve, talk about it. Everyone is going to call Luke Steve the rest of the
Steve Meyer.
year.
Maybe it's Steve Meyer.
I'm sorry. Go on.
No, I mean, he's a good player. He's just slightly older than you would like to see if you're going to spend big money on him. But he's a heck of a player. I think a 3-time All-Star. Kevin, what were you saying? He was in for the running for...
So he's been top 20 in MVP voting each of the last 4 seasons, including a top 5 finish, I believe, in 2019. But he's having one of his best offensive seasons this year. So
Yeah.
he's still getting better.
Bob
Yeah,
Nightingale
big kick.
saying he's hearing the Cubs are going to sign him. There have been
Or
some other reports.
He's saying that executives are
right,
predicting
yes.
that the Cubs are going to
Yes,
sign him.
correct.
Which, in a way, isn't necessarily him reporting it, which,
No.
if you all know about the joke on baseball Twitter, is good that he's not reporting it. He's just saying that other people are saying the Cubs are going to do it. I think that gets around the joke on baseball Twitter that everyone knows that I'm talking about. So,
I don't know.
Here's my 2 cents.
Would I rather have Correa? Yes.
Because he's
but
younger.
Correa just had the quote saying he wasn't interested in the Cubs because they were rebuilding this offseason.
And what the Cubs would have to do to convince Correa is just tell him, like, hey, we really do
Pay him more.
plan on competing, and hey, we'll pay you your $35 million. I don't know, like, I don't really know how much more money this guy thinks he can get if he's going to opt out. Again, he's making $35 million this year. I mean, unless he wants the years, you know what I mean?
Then the Cubs might not be interested.
Right. Now, with Bogarts, 29 this year? It's going to be 30 next year.
Yeah.
But again, people say
make the team
as far as defense, he he's not the greatest defender in the world. Honestly, though, like, you could play him at second if you had to, and people would then if you want to ask about Madrigal, well, it's Nick Madrigal shouldn't be someone blocking a guy like Xander Bogaerts.
No, you're not. You're not
Like,
saying. You're not going to say no to Xander Bogaerts because you have Nick Madrigal in your organization.
Right.
If you get Xander Bogaerts, then Nick Madrigal can be an addition or he can be traded.
Right.
Either way.
Right. So, you asked me, take your pick. Who would I like? I mean, Correa, Turner, or Bogaerts. I mean, based off youth,
I'd take any of the three.
Right. I would take
yeah.
any of the three
Yep.
and be happy about it. I think I'd lean Correa more just based off the youth. But again, though, like
RWB says no, don't sign Trey Turner. If you don't get Xander or Correa, then just sit out. I don't know if I agree with that.
Totally disagree with that.
I disagree with that. I think you gotta prove that you want to compete next year. And if they don't sign a major infielder, then you got to sign a big time pitcher or
you got to end up with Aaron Judge, or, one of the
an outfielder or someone. I mean, especially if they do trade Contreras and Happ, like you have to make noise in the offseason if you want to prove to the fans that you plan on, being in the NL Central race next year. There's a lot of guys on the up and up in terms of the minor leagues, and we're seeing guys like Nelson Velasquez have a hell of an arm and mash a baseball up the middle tonight and hit a home run yesterday, and Morel seems like a very nice piece. I don't know if he is a guy that you want to rely on playing every day at a certain position, but I do think he's going to be on this team. A very nice Chris Taylor type player, perhaps, maybe better. I don't know. There's still a lot to go through and see what he is. But again, we have some nice pieces, and it's all really going to depend on who they move at the deadline. But yeah, I mean, I don't know. I think as far as like the rumor that the Cubs are going to do that, I mean, it makes sense. Jed Hoyer used to be part of the Red Sox organization. The Red Sox were just in town. I'm not surprised that this quote unquote rumor came out. I don't think if the Cubs sign Bogaerts instead of Correa, it's a bad idea. I think that they're both very good baseball players, and the Cubs should be getting at least one of them. I
just don't believe
care.
the Cubs have made up their mind on any of that stuff yet. Like a specific player that,
Right.
I don't believe any of that. Like, I think
with
they
you.
know
I don't
who's
know.
going to be available, but prices will adjust greatly over the next few months. Like anything can happen there. So like to say that that's going to happen, do they seem like a likely team? Yeah, they're a bad team with what should have a lot of money for a rebuilding team with young players coming up. They make sense for that. I get that. And Jack R in the comments, I agree with you a lot, but I don't agree with you on this. You're saying don't sign any of them because Nico, I think you're saying because Nico is a future All-Star. I don't disagree that Nico could be a future All-Star, but the Dodgers don't stop because they get one guy. Like, you want them both on their team. Like,
right, exactly.
Yes, like
exactly.
And you need to start thinking
move
about
guys around.
Guys with postseason experience, right? I mean, this is a young team. All three of these shortstops have World Series rings. I mean, all three of them. So it's like a lot of postseason experience between these guys. You got to get one of them,
right?
And you got to at least attempt to.
In the games the Cubs have lost recently, they've lacked that big, I don't want to say clutch because not every baseball player is clutch every single time, but they've lacked that major guy in the lineup outside of Contreras. And yeah, Contreras was swinging out of his shoes the other day, and that led to that loss. But and he has been a big part of the offense this year. But they've really lacked just that extra offensive bump. You know what I mean? You add a guy, add one of those three players, and that that changes a lot of things. No matter what the lineup looks like next year, right? So, yeah, I mean, it's just very funny how it came out today.
Shane and Jack want Arenado to opt out and be a free agent, and he'd be a fill-in at third. Yes, I mean, we don't know what's happening.
Oh my God! If that were to actually happen,
it'd be great because you take him away from the Cardinals,
God.
but again, you don't know what's happening.
Scenario.
You don't know what's happening yet. Like, the first step is to see what happens with Wisdom. Don't get me wrong.
For sure.
If you had Wisdom and you could get Nolan Arenado, you would. I'm just saying the Cubs might look at third base if they don't trade Wisdom and say, we have a cheap third base. Now we can dump our money here because at least we're getting power and defense out of third. We can spend our money somewhere else.
Right. I think
don't
that, you get one of these.
It would be funny to take him from the Cardinals.
Right. you get one of these guys, whoever. I mean, related to Jack R's comment saying that you shouldn't sign any of those guys. It's like, okay, then if you're not going to sign any of those guys, you got to sign a major name in the outfield. Like we don't like, and that, even if Ian Happ is on this roster, you still got to do that. And I know Brennan Davis is going to come up, but like, do we know what he's going to be? No, you have to plan accordingly. That's why this team this year especially hasn't been consistent, has been very bad at times, and has shown like in this recent stretch that they can be good. But the big reason why it's been inconsistent is because of injuries, and you just don't have enough depth. You gotta get guys. You gotta get some dudes and get them in there and have depth. That's what all the good teams do. That's what and that's mainly the point of why they got to go sign. They got to sign a few big names this offseason, in my opinion, whether they sell the entire team or not. And that's just, again, that would have, it really depends on, who those people are. But
yeah, Niren's got a good game plan. He says you sign some veterans and you make prospects push them off. Like, yeah, that's great. If you can get you can get a couple guys that are, not necessarily Arenado. Let's say it's Bogarts, and you give him big money for 2 seasons, 3 seasons. Yes, you would love to have Hernandez or somebody come up and push him out of that spot, and then that's the end of his career. Whatever. That's the ideal scenario. Or they're all on the team together. Like that works too, and you can still trade pieces when they're either side of that.
Wolf Designs makes a good point. Pitching is important too. It is, and that's another thing. Like right now, you look at the rotation. Okay, right now you're thinking Steele and Thompson are going to be in the rotation, and Stroman. Kyle Hendricks, we don't know. We'll see after the deadline, right?
Right. It might be more likely now.
And then Caleb Killian, you got to think he's going to be up with the organization in the second half, and no matter what, probably going to be on the opening day roster in 2023, slotted to be in that rotation somewhere. But you add a sizable name, like a decently sized name to that rotation, that becomes a thing. That becomes okay, this team can, because if you have pitching, you're always going to be in the game.
Right.
So, yeah, I'm with you. I again, there's still got a lot to watch play out. But, yeah, I said it before this season that they needed to get one more bat and one more arm, and I thought that things would be I'd feel a lot better about this team. They didn't, and we've watched it all kind of crumble at times. So, it's just
a lot of comments in here about DeGrom. I just don't see the Mets not being outbid for him, even though he's hurt all the time. A lot of fans in the comments want Jacob DeGrom as your opening day starter next year.
Yeah, that'd be nice.
I'd take Jacob DeGrom. I don't care if he, I know this year he's been hurt, but I also saw his rehab start the other day, and like that had to have been the greatest rehab start of all time, man. Like
he's hurt every year. That's something you sign up for,
Yeah.
Isaac with a great comment here. It'd be nice if we had a guy we could buy a jersey of and plan on him being here a couple seasons. This guy also should be an all-star. I guess you're not going to do that yet with free agency, right?
Yeah, right.
Who would be the guy that you would...
I guess, a lot of people...
It'd have to be Nico or Seiya right now if you were looking at somebody on the Cubs that you thought would be the next Hap if he's going to be here. One of those 3 guys.
Yeah. Maybe Stroman, who's already here.
Maybe Stroman.
Keegan Thompson.
I don't know if Stroman's going to be an all-star.
Yeah.
I just don't.
Keegan Thompson, he's shown signs of being a guy you can give the ball to every 5th day and go out there and shove.
Yeah.
But I don't know. There's a lot of.
I would say maybe Seiya.
Seiya, yeah.
Nico is at a very difficult position for that to be an all-star, and I know Brendan Miller would be cursing us, saying it's Nico Horner, Nico Horner. And I still think, but I think Seiya for multiple reasons. One, fan vote. You have multiple parts of the world voting for him potentially. Mm-hmm. And, I like the way he's bounced back after this injury. So,
yeah,
that would be my guess. It'd be somebody like
Scott says Morel. Yeah. Like, hey, perhaps a lot of people still
multi-year all-star like in a row. It's
yeah.
I would say save your money and wait till the end of the season, and you'll have a better idea.
Yeah,
beginning of next season.
Yeah, or you can just go get yourself a
jersey,
a future. Or you get yourself,
a
a jersey,
cheaper jersey.
Yeah, or again, if you want to be the cool guy who's going to a game in 5 years and it has Schwindel on the back, and you can be that guy. Like, there's nothing wrong with that. I'm not telling you to go buy that from like the Cubs store and give Tom Ricketts all that money, but like if you want to go to China or buy one from China, there you go. Like,
I'm willing to just give you a blue shirt with some white masking tape and write a name on the back for like $10.
There you go.
Steve Stuckmeyer.
Yep.
Steve Stuckmeyer, yes.
I saw a guy with a Matt Merton jersey the other day at Wrigley.
There you go.
Really?
You could be the Frank Schwindel guy.
Was it Matt Merton?
Yeah, Matt Merton.
No, was it Matt Merton?
No, he did not have red hair.
Didn't have
Turns out it was Zach Zaidman. Nope. Could have been. Same red hair. Hey, I've got to tell you guys about OWYN, which stands for Only What You Need. OWYN is a 100% plant-based protein shake that gives you nutrition that works as hard as you do. All their products are free of artificial ingredients, allergen-friendly, no gluten, no dairy, easily digestible. First heard about it, Bears quarterback Justin Fields follows a plant-based diet. OWYN and CHGO have partnered up to give you an awesome offer. You can get 20% off your first purchase at LiveOWYN or liveowyn.com. That's LiveOWYN.com. The code CHGO20. Join me, Justin Fields, and try OWYN, only what you need. I was in the store on July 3rd. I saw it actually at Whole Foods. There is a cookies and cream version of this now.
Ooh, boy.
Hello.
It's going to take over Cone whenever, we're hurt again.
Grandpa Steve, LOL. Sorry, Luke, forever known as Steve. That's it. Listen, I don't care. Who doesn't like Steve,
Yeah. I see our good friend Ryan Herrera has joined the chat.
Oh, there he is. I didn't hear that.
Yeah, there he is.
Hello.
Ryan, you can now refer to Luke as Steve because someone in the chat called Luke Steve.
Yeah, they thought my name was Steve.
And now it's become a thing, so Luke's new name is Steve.
Steve. Or he might have been thinking Steve Meyer.
Saying Grandpa Steve is what I just saw.
Yeah, I saw Grandpa Steve on the chat. Luke equals Steve. It's like, what do they call that at the bottom of a map?
Oh.
Where they give you the...
Oh, the conversion?
Yeah, what's that called, though?
Thing? I don't know.
Somebody tell me. It's the bottom of a map, and it tells you, like, 1 inch equals 1 mile, or...
Yeah.
I'm not a mathematician.
No, people don't even look at maps anymore, I don't think.
Okay.
Unless it's Google Maps.
But before we ask Riley a question...
A key. Thank you, Katie.
Can you put the comment up there, Kevin, up from Joel? He says, I took the shake as an Owen before work. I got fired, was walked out by security, and set my boss's car on fire. Still highly recommend the product. Felt great.
What?
Joel.
Walked out by security.
Jeez, Joel, what's going on, man?
He's got to be joking. He did not set his boss's car on fire.
I want to believe it. I want to believe it. But anyway, I just wanted to read that one. That was one of my favorite comments of the night. I
good
can't
stuff.
believe everyone calling
Ryan,
you Steve.
tell us what's going on with Kyle Hendricks.
So Kyle says that it's kind of so if you remember at the beginning of the month, he had other kind of right shoulder soreness. And that's why they had, remember, it was like 13 days, 14 days that he didn't pitch. He said it's kind of the same feeling that, coming into this start, like he'd been feeling good the last couple starts. Everything coming in was good. Pre-game was good. And then that first warm-up pitch to go into the game, like it just kind of something happened and he felt it. He said it's similar to what he felt, so what he felt at the beginning of the month. He said it's something that he probably could have grinded through, and he kind of did. Ross came out in the second inning. They had a little chat. Kyle was honest with him, but said he could give him some more. Ross let him get through the second, put him back out there for the third, and he got through that clean. But at that point, look at the velocity was down, and it was clearly something wrong. And so Ross just kind of made the decision to pull him, and luckily Schwarmer gave him some good innings. Roe Wick, same thing. Michael Rucker, a couple good ones. Kyle says he's not too concerned in the fact that he, knows what it is because he knows the feeling because he had it a month ago. But that they got to kind of just wait and see. He's expecting to get an MRI, see what the results are from that, and then he said it's definitely a possibility that he can miss his next start or miss his next turn through the rotation. But I'm sure we'll have to kind of just wait and see on that one.
Yeah, because it seemed like Swarmer was warming up very early in the game, and I wondered how early they knew that his shoulder just didn't quite feel exactly right, or he felt that little whatever he felt, because that was early second inning, wasn't it? Swarmer was up in the bullpen, and it wasn't like he'd given up a couple runs, but it wasn't like you were wondering, oh man, is he going to have to come out real fast?
The only thing is that the pitch count was high. I mean, he came out after the third and had 69 pitches.
That's true.
But I don't know. I mean, from the TV, I couldn't tell that there was anything wrong with Kyle Hendricks, and then Ross came out and we're like, oh,
yeah, what's that discussion?
So
because you could, Ryan, you could see him clearly. I don't know if you could see it on TV there, but you could clearly see Ross say, "You okay?" And he's like, yeah, I'm fine. I promise. Clearly you could say, I'm fine. I promise. And that's when we were like, oh, this isn't just about the next batter or something else. He's checking on his health for sure.
Yeah, no, and that's what Ross said. It's he kind of, he just saw just something. He was kind of off in the beginning. He said he could tell that he was grinding, but that his gut feeling was to take him out, but he let him stay in there through the third. And he just didn't after that, just didn't want him to have to push through it. But like I said, you could tell from the velocity and stuff like that. It was just not. It just wasn't Kyle Hendricks today. The shoulder was bothering him. I think Ross said he went out there, just wanted to get some honesty from Kyle about how he was feeling. That's why you said Ross come out there instead of Tommy Hotovy, which is normally what happens. So Ross obviously had a little more concern there and just wanted to kind of ask Kyle what was going on, if he was feeling okay. Kyle said that he told Ross he'd give him as much as he could, but after that third inning, the velocity still kind of trending down, and he got through it clean, and I think that was all well and good. But Ross again just kind of came to his own conclusion that it was probably best and the smartest decision just to get Kyle out of there and go to the pen. But yeah, Schwarmer was up there an hour or two into the second inning, when I think Kyle got into a little bit of trouble there maybe. After that first single or maybe after the walk, whenever that was. But, Schwarmer was up, and I'm we're all kind of Schwarmer? He's up already? It's second inning. What? At first it was okay, there's trouble, but Ross, Ross isn't going to take him out because of the first sign of trouble. So there was something going on. And then you see, from the mound visit and just that kind of thing, when you look at the velocity again, it would just you kind of figured something was up.
Boy, Seiya Suzuki has looked pretty good in 2 games. For missing all that time, it doesn't seem like he's too rusty. I mean, 2 home runs, 4 hits, 4 RBI. I would say we would have given you who you got. Now, Kevin's got the star on there. The problem is, Ryan, you were disqualified. I didn't want to break this to you. Yeah, the problem is that online gambling is illegal in Wisconsin, so you were not able to place your bet from Milwaukee. Therefore, only Cody and I were eligible as winners today just for legality reasons.
I mean, I know you're scared of me because I'm just so good at this game.
We're looking out. We don't want any, we don't want you having a run-in with the law up there.
Just for you
north of the border.
To pull this crap, it just tells me how terrified you are of me. You saw me. I picked Crook last week, and Ross doesn't take him out. That's a W for me. I know. I have complete faith.
Come on.
Complete faith that Crook gets that one. And this, as soon as Suzuki stepped to the plate the first time, I'm like, I win.
Ryan, this is not something Cody and I decided. That we talked to the CHGO legal team. We called Denver. The CHGO legal team has looked at this, and they said Ryan is not allowed to place online bets in the state of Wisconsin. It is illegal there. We don't feel comfortable, and this is against everything we believe in as a company.
There's a reason we don't have a sister company in Wisconsin.
That's
why there's no MKEO up there or whatever they would call it.
There's no points bet in Wisconsin.
It's unfortunate because you had a solid win going there for you.
Well, I saw the graphic and I had a star next to my name, so I just
Well, that was for effort.
Yeah.
That was
Luke,
the gold.
okay.
That was a gold effort.
Sometimes you get gold stars for effort. At least
Yeah,
you
but
tried.
See?
You know the Bart
Luke's guy
Simpson
got-
gif where he has the cake that says "At least you tried" or "At least I tried" or whatever. He grabs the cake and then he goes and throws it in the trash. There you go.
Yeah.
That's you.
Look at Joel's in on this. He says, Joel says, yeah, you're cooked, Ryan. Authorities are on the way. I hope you enjoyed your last bratwurst.
Well, everyone else is on my side, so
Yeah, Katie's like,
like
am I
eight
gonna
against
have to shout justice for Ryan again?
Yeah, Ryan, did you get to try any of those bratwursts in the press box?
Yeah,
up
what'd
there?
you have to eat there?
Got some good
they
bratwurst
had,
up there.
they had chicken carnita tacos. Oh, they brought the ice cream machine back too, Luke. Ice cream machine.
They
was
did
there.
bring back the soft serve, huh?
Nice.
Yeah, it was. It was like one of those where I ate it and then I felt guilty for like 5 minutes. I'm like, I should have done that. And then like 5 minutes later, I was like,
Okay,
Was
well,
it,
now an important question. Was it vanilla, chocolate, or swirl?
swirl.
Yeah,
it was
that
a
is the
swirl.
right choice.
I have to-
All right, we'll give you we'll let you have who you got if you want to risk, your freedom.
Oh yeah, I'll do it. Okay,
All right, we'll give. I mean, if you're
Look
willing
at
to risk your
Herrera.
freedom, and
Yeah.
then
They come to my house though. I'm ratting you out.
yeah, I'm not going to lie to authorities.
Yeah.
Well then, I just won't tell you guys where I'm at. I mean, you tell them to go search Milwaukee as much as they want, but they won't know where I'm at.
All right. Well, we all know you're at Miller Park right now. Let us know, how is the roof? Like,
Yeah,
is
what's
it still
going on?
leaking?
Was it leaking?
Again, yes.
Again? Yeah.
I mean, I didn't notice it, but they probably just didn't show it.
It was out in right field where it was leaking pretty bad. I mean, it wasn't just dripping either. I mean, it was coming
How have
down.
they not fixed this yet?
Yeah.
Like
I mean, how
every
many
year
more
it
Cubs
leaks.
fans got to go and pay the bills, man? Like, how many more?
This
How
is a
many
bad
more?
sign. Lori Lightfoot's talking about trying to put a roof now on Soldier Field.
Jeez.
Certainly don't get whoever built Miller Park to put it up
Yeah.
if that's what you're doing.
No, there was. It's raining here, and there was one like really, really loud thunder, and it was middle of the inning, so they had music playing and stuff like that. But you just heard like the thunder snap, and everyone's like, "Oh crap! Like this is bad." So I'm terrified to go run out to my car after this. I'm gonna get soaked probably.
Most likely. It's raining here too.
Yeah. It's at least
right.
you're not in the hot studio, though.
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
It's burning up. I got some back sweat.
Studio B is a scorcher.
Yeah.
Swass. You got Swass right now?
Perhaps, yes. We're going to see when I
we
have
go.
to stand up, but it's not feeling great right now.
Any other nuggets you got for us, Ryan?
Yeah, I mean, as far as Stroman and Smiley, they're both kind of in the same boat where they, had their rehab assignments, rehab outings. Stroman was Sunday, Smiley was yesterday. As far as what the next step is, they haven't figured that out yet. They could potentially both have another rehab start coming up, or it may be they don't. Like, we're still kind of in the dark of like which way the Cubs are going, if they're bringing them back before like what would be their next turn through the rotation. So obviously we'll keep you updated, but just reports from their rehab outings were fine, and then we kind of just got to wait and see what the plan of attack for those two is coming up later this week.
Katie says Ryan is the people's winner, and RWB team says Ryan deserves the W.
Yep.
RWB, what happened to Steve? Steve could have been in the running.
Yeah.
I knew who he picked.
Great bar in Milwaukee goes by RWB, red, white, and blue. Maybe Ryan will go there tonight and
Really?
celebrate.
Yeah, celebrate is
Old
who you
stomping
got.
grounds for me.
Ryan,
Another W.
I don't know if it's open this late at night, but get yourself some Kopp's custard.
Ooh.
KOPPS.
Yeah, keep hearing about it.
And thank me later.
Hey,
Scoop of vanilla, scoop of chocolate. They give you a little wafer on top in the cup. Bingo. It's the best thing Wisconsin does
What is it?
Outside of cheese.
outside of cheese.
KOPPS.
Yeah, it's about a
No,
20-minute ride from the stadium, so pretty
Looks
it's
like
up
they're
north a little
closed.
bit.
So
It's worth it. It's worth it.
All right.
Every bit of it.
Okay, so who you got standings now? I have 12, Ryan has 9, and Luke/Steve has 8.
Well, Luke has 8. That's me.
Okay.
And then Steve's probably got another 3 or 4 hidden in there somewhere.
Oh, yeah? You think so?
I mean, now that I know I get to bet for Steve and Luke. I get 2 votes.
Stucky's gonna send two picks every
That's
day
right.
now, thanks to the chat. Look what you all did. Now we have to put up with this the rest of the year.
Now I get double picks. It's been decided. One for my alter ego, one for myself.
This is where me and Ryan we put the line, Luke / Steve. This is not allowed.
I can't be
when I
held
signed
responsible
on to
for
this-
what Steve does.
When I signed on to do this show, I thought me and Luke were gonna have to like stop Cody from going overboard. Now it's turning into me and Cody having to like stop. Luke.
Yeah.
Look, hey, Ryan, you're the
insane.
one breaking the law, not me, buddy.
Hey man,
Illegal gambling in Wisconsin. That's you. That's all on you, Herrera.
Oh
I didn't put any money on it, so doesn't really count, does it?
Well,
Shout out,
as far as we know.
Shout out to the 60+ people in tonight's show that has really made this that much better.
Sticking with us.
Yeah.
Hey, real quick, Adrian Sampson, what do we think? Does he give the Cubs a chance to win their 4th straight series?
I think he gives you a good shot. I mean, we talked about it on Friday. Gave up the 4 runs, but he ate the Cubs inning. So, Brewers offense not nearly as good as the Red Sox. So perhaps, he comes out, throws strikes, and, eats the 5 innings for the Cubs and perhaps gives them a shot to at least be in the game.
Ryan, you're there, or are you in studio tomorrow?
I'll be here tomorrow. I'll be here
You'll be in
tomorrow.
Milwaukee.
And then join you guys, and then I'll join you guys for the good old LA Dodgers 9:00 p.m. starts on Thursday.
Yes.
I can't wait. And I say that with so much sarcasm.
Hey, Jack's got a great point. I can't pick a pitcher in who you got, but Steve is allowed to.
Okay, well, you're going to pick the opposing pitcher or Steve's going to pick the opposing pitcher every single time.
Well, that's a possibility, too. All right, Cubs beat the Brewers, even up the series, a chance to go for 4 straight series wins. Something I didn't think I was going to say this season, to be quite honest with you.
The race for 63
We're there.
is looking good, folks.
All of a
it
sudden,
looked bleak a month ago.
in a new gear.
But, we're in a new gear,
Got a new scooter. We're in new gear. And we will
It's just nice to win one. Savor the flavor. We
Savor
haven't
the
said
flavor.
we
That's
haven't said
it.
it all.
That's
all
how
show.
we wrap it up.
Savor the flavor.
Thanks for checking out the CHGO Cubs post-game show podcast presented by PointsBet. We'll see you back here tomorrow. The series finale, Cubs and Brewers. We'll be back for the post-game show. Hope you'll join us then, too.